Good night. It is 7 p.m. on a Friday, I think. Yeah, today's Friday the 12th, which means it's a little before Valentine's Day, and I decided to start a little reading vlog because, well, I don't know, it just kind of felt like it. Had a lot of updates. I've just been feeling the stride lately, which is amazing. So first, I finished The Bonfire of the Vanities by Tom Wolfe, and this book is actually pretty great. Personally, the ending was very surprising to me, but it felt really realistic. When this was sold to me, I thought this was a view on capitalism, on how it was very bad when you abused it, and it's actually a lot about the justice system in New York and the continental United States altogether, and racism. It was an excellent book. I would give it 4 stars because I did feel like it trudged through sometimes, but it was extremely entertaining. It did take me a while to finish it because I just didn't want it to end. Then I picked Mr. Murder by Dean Koontz again yesterday, and I finished it in a day. I had grabbed it back from page 140, and I made my way throughout the day until I finally finished it. The spine is a little broken, not as much as I would have liked. I would have liked for it to be a little more broken, but this was excellent. The first time it was extremely dense, and it is still very, very dense. I did feel like in some parts it trudged through the story and it kind of stopped. For example, in the last action scene, it was a little annoying that the description was just too much for me because I was just so invested in the scene. I just didn't want to stop, and I had to skim a couple paragraphs because I had so much anxiety when reading this. And this is the problem. I think I should start reading audiobooks as well when I'm reading this thing, because it's just like when you're watching a show or a movie, you don't have to stop watching. Even if it's something that even if you don't want it to end, you can force yourself to watch it unfold. But when it's a book, you can just stop reading. And that's very annoying because I stopped reading at several points throughout this because I just didn't want, I could just cover my eyes and read at the same time. It was just really good though. I loved the complexity of this novel. I love the world building in it, even though it's set in a normal world. There are a lot of movie references in this, and I only caught the most famous ones, but I would love to watch a few of the ones that were included here. Anyway, this is a story. This is a thriller novel about a writer. He is a father of 2 beautiful daughters. He has a wife. A wife who's a psychologist, and he is just having his best life. He's having an absolute break when it comes to his mystery novels. He's about to have his first bestseller hardcover, and everything's just going extremely well for him until one day he just blacks out and he doesn't know why. So then we get to this assassin, this killer, who doesn't know who he is working for. He doesn't know what he does, the assignments that he does. He does know, however, that he runs on ungodly amounts of strength, and in order to run on those ungodly amounts of strength, he's got to eat a lot. So he's got an amazing appetite because his metabolism is really fast. And just one day he feels this calling towards California, and he feels this calling that he doesn't know why he's feeling it, but he just feels really, really empty one night when he realizes that he just feels something, a magnetic pull, and it's pulling him on the other side of the country. And then he embarks in this journey to find what is the source of this magnetism, and surprise, surprise, these two look exactly the same. Yeah, you might want to see all of that unfold because the guy is very vicious. He doesn't have a clear sense of what is right or wrong because all he knows of morality is through action movies. Honestly, I like the writing a lot. It's just, it had a couple of things that irked me sometimes, but I really liked it. So today I finally started Entwined, which is one of the books that has been sitting in here for a while and that I have been meaning to read for years. And I am currently really, really liking it. It is so fantastical and unreal and whimsical, and I am barely like on page 50 or something. I'm on page 38, but it was still so nice. I felt like I needed such a light read to help me contrast these two heavy bad boys, and I love it. I'm really loving it, and I'm just a little bit of a way through it. This is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. Anyway, right now I'm gonna finish editing the trailer for my learning methodology series, and we'll see how that goes. Today is the next day, and it is approximately 1:12 p.m. and I'm sorry if the chair creaks a lot. I can't help it. So I just braided my hair, and the braid is a lot longer than it used to be. So I'm really surprised, but I do have to cut my hair a little bit. I have to cut the ends. I've been reading Entwined by Heather Dixon for the past couple of hours, and it's fucking delicious. I'm drinking this up. Oh, okay, this is so whimsical, and it's so atmospheric without being too heavy on the description. It's just light enough, and it's just Heather Dixon's writing style is really good. There's just like a couple of things that I don't relate to, like she excessively uses the word dainty, and I think that's the only detail I have at the moment, maybe, that I can remember from off the top of my head. But the writing style is very light. You can really just flow through this book. The world building is not too in your face or spoon fed to you. It is gradually ascending, and I just really love this. I love the way that the family relationships are being treated in this book. I feel like, well, in Everyone is a young adult book without either one or two of the parents dead, and or one or two of the parents having an estranged relationship from the protagonist. Well, this book has both. This thing happens within the first 10 pages. The mother dies, and the father is just very distant to them, and so they only have each other. I love Bramble. Bramble is definitely my favorite character because I love her so much. I love Bramble. She is the second oldest. And speaking of age, I actually don't know how old Azalea, our protagonist, is. She seems to be attending her first or second ball. I think it's her first ball. Of age is 15 years old, I guess. So I don't know if she's 15 or 16. In which case, you know, I can relate to her, like always looking at the gentleman, at the boys, and just blushing, because I'm just like that as well. Like, I just look at any person who's attractive and I'm like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I also love that this is a third person point of view kind of book, because a lot of young adult, maybe most young adult books that I've read are first person. So far, I'm only 153 pages through, so I'm expecting a lot more from this. The main twist hasn't really taken full effect, but we can just see things. It's starting to pick up momentum. But I'm just waiting for the big twist that they're going to have to solve or run away from or something. But it's just, I love the built up tension in this. It's not even tension, but it's just, you know that something is coming, because everything is just either too good to be true, or their escapade place is just getting too good to be true and they can't avoid their problems. So yeah, I'm just going to go back to reading this, and today my friends are coming over. I haven't seen them in like a year. This is so surreal. I haven't seen them in like a year, and they're coming over. We're gonna take some pictures, we're gonna have a photo shoot, and we're just gonna enjoy each other's companies. And yeah, I might have to cut reading short, but I'm hoping to get to at least page 230. I'm hoping to get through 100 pages before I have to change. And tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so maybe tomorrow, before my boyfriend comes over to pick me up, I'll read several more hundreds of pages. I am expecting to finish this over the weekend, but if I have to finish this on Monday, I wouldn't mind. It's just that on Monday I really want to focus on getting more studying done. My edition of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne just arrived in the mail like 2 days ago or something, and the mailing company wasn't very gentle with it, as you can tell by this thing. Yeah, but it's a beautiful sterling edition. I'm collecting these, as I have already probably mentioned in a video, but yeah, I'm trying to collect these sterling editions, and this is slightly illustrated, so every chapter starts with a little illustration. I love the beginning of the parts. Like, look at that. So pretty. I really wished it had come with a dust jacket, but I am really happy that I got it like this. I started reading like the first few sentences and it's intriguing. It's very intriguing. And I tried listening to more of Charles Dickens' Great Expectations in the shower, but I couldn't really pay attention to the audiobook. So I'm just looking to get back to that somewhere when I am really into Entwined. Like maybe when I'm over 2/3 through the book, I'll retake Great Expectations slowly because I do want to finish it. As you can see, I'm kind of dressed up, and I'm sorry if the light here kind of obstructs your view of me. If the window doesn't help with the view, but I've received my package. I've already unboxed it in front of my mom because I was just so excited, and I'm missing 2 books, but because those arrived late. So I used to have 6 out of the 8 that arrived to show you. The first one is Erik Larson's In the Garden of Beasts. This is, I think, a historical fiction. I really have no idea, honestly. I just bought it because I was really interested in The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson and thought, you know, this might be swell. So the time is 1933. It plays Berlin when William E. Dodd becomes America's first ambassador to Hitler's Germany in a year that proved to be a turning point in history. A mild-mannered professor from Chicago, Dodd brings along his wife, son, and flamboyant daughter, Martha. First, Martha is entranced by the parties involved with the handsome young men of the Third Reich with their infectious enthusiasm for restoring Germany to a position of world prominence. But as evidence of Jewish persecution mounts, confirmed by chilling first-person testimony, her father telegraphs his concerns to a largely indifferent State Department back home. Dodd watches with alarm as Jews are attacked, the press is censored, and drafts of frightening new laws begin to circulate. As that first year unfolds and the shadows deepen, the Dodds experience days full of excitement, intrigue, romance, and ultimately horror, when a climactic spasm of violence and murder reveals Hitler's true character and ruthless ambition. Suffused with the tense atmosphere of the period and with unforgettable portraits of the bizarre courting and the expectedly charming yet wholly sinister Goebbels, In the Garden of Beasts lends a stunning eyewitness perspective on events as they unfold in real time, revealing an era of surprising nuance and complexity. The result is one of the major bestsellers of the year, a dazzling, addictively readable work that speaks volumes about why the world did not recognize the grave threat posed by Hitler until Berlin and Europe were awash in blood and terror. Seems really interesting. I really like historical fiction, even though I haven't really read a lot of it, but I really like historical fiction. Second book I have here for you is The Devil in the White City, also by Erik Larson. I know what this is about, I just don't remember. Oh, this still has a bookmark in it. It still has a bookmark in it. Okay, well, thank you. This goes, bringing Chicago circa 1893 to vivid life. Erik Larson's spellbinding bestseller intertwines the true tale of 2 men, the brilliant architect behind the legendary 1893 World's Fair, striving to secure America's place in the world, and the cunning serial killer who used the fair to lure his victims to their death. Combining meticulous research and with nail-biting storytelling, Erik Larson has crafted a narrative with all the wonder of newly discovered history and the thrills of the best fiction. Sounds really interesting. This next one is an Oscar Wilde biography, so I did want to read a lot more about Oscar Wilde, undoubtedly, and this is something that is from a library. You can tell first by the plastic and then by the stamp. Okay. Yeah, somebody gave this to the thrift books thing, and I'm just really excited. I don't know why I'm so excited for this. I just know this is a good biography. This is from the Tampa Hillsborough County Library System. I just know that this is a good biography. The next one is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. So I've heard wonders of this, and you've probably seen the movie adaptation that came out a couple years ago. But I really wanted to read Crazy Rich Asians before I watched it, so I'm gonna read you the synopsis. When New Yorker Rachel Chu agrees on a summer in Singapore to visit her boyfriend's traditional Chinese family, she expects the trip to be relaxing, if a little dull. She has no idea. Nick's childhood home is a palace. He grew up riding in more private planes than cars. He and Rachel will be attending the wedding of the year. Oh, and Nick just happens to be one of Asia's most eligible bachelors, and his formidable mother isn't so sure Rachel is the right one for him. I'm so excited, especially because I just watched Blink Empire, and I was just so... like, how can people be so rich? I don't know. Like, I would love to be that rich. I would spend it all on books, probably. But yeah, I'm just really excited for it. I heard wonderful things of it, and I don't know. Yeah, it's a national bestseller. I mean, next thing I bought is this graphic novel called Ichiro. I don't know why I was so interested in this. I have no idea why. So let's read the synopsis, shall we? Ichiro is a boy adrift in this world. Raised by his Japanese mother in New York City, his American father taken by war before Ichiro ever knew him, Ichiro finds it difficult to figure out where he fits in. A trip to Japan leaves Ichiro with his grandfather, a stranger to him in a country he does not know. And then one night, Ichi gets dragged down a hole by a monster. When he wakes up, he isn't in Japan anymore. In fact, he's in the mortal world. Ichi has entered the domain of the gods. With words and pictures, Ryan and Zana seamlessly interweave myth and reality, life and death, gods and mortals, creating a wholly original fantasy adventure about one boy's search for peace, acceptance, and a place to call home. So I already, like, this is so cool. Like, first things first, this is so cool. And second, I already saw a little bit of the style, and it's so good. It's kind of rough, like just paint strokes all over, and I am in love with that. You can really see the contrast in color. Lastly, not last book I ordered, but the last one that came up here is this new edition of the complete works of William Shakespeare. Yeah, the complete works of William Shakespeare, because I figured, let's start. This is a huge thing, and if you could take a look, it's a huge thing. I just don't know how I'm gonna get through this. Of course, I kind of wanted to also ordered off of thrift books a couple of textbooks that taught how to teach Shakespeare. So it was like, I don't know, kind of guides of Shakespeare. And I'm really excited because I read a little bit of Romeo and Juliet when I was in secondary school, and my teacher used to stop at every single line and he would explain why that line was there, what Shakespeare had in style. Like, he just rambled on and on about Shakespeare once he stopped at a line, and then we would go on to the following line and he would find something to talk about in that line, and then he would ramble on and on about something else, and that was really interesting for me. So I wanted to have the anthology here because yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna start reading anything from here, but I know that I'm gonna start reading soon, and I just want to have it here just in case. So I'm gonna have to make a little bit of space in here. The good thing is that this is the only thing that I need to put in here. The bad thing is that it's the last thing that's gonna fit in the shelf. And I'm gonna have to sacrifice a book, maybe. I think I'm gonna have to sacrifice some of the last books that are in here. So yeah, my friends are gonna come at any time, and just for a little update, because why the fuck not, we're already here. I'm already halfway through Entwined, and it took such a fucking, it took a dark turn really fucking quickly, and I wasn't expecting that. So this book is just so marvelous, and it is so, I don't know, it's so funny as well. And it really, what really stands out to me are the relationships between the sisters, because you can just see, I can catch on a little bit because I did kind of see a summary of the 12 Dancing Princesses, and I can see the nods to the story right away, and it's just amazing. I fucking love it. Probably gonna change my shirt because I don't feel comfortable enough in it. And yeah, I'm just really loving it. Keeper kind of scares me, but he's also really hot. And, you know, at least I think that that's what Azalea also thinks, you know. It is Wednesday the 17th, and it is 10 p.m. So it's been a couple of days since I last updated you guys on what I've been reading this week. However, I just kind of wanted to say that, you know, for the sake of ending this vlog, I will go on ahead and tell you what I've read so far. And this reading vlog actually hasn't really been that eventful. I haven't had a lot to film. I just have the update that I went and got my ID yesterday, and I started using a menstrual cup for the very first time in my life, and I've gotten the hang of it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I finished Entwined on Monday because my period started on Monday and I was just not feeling up to like studying or anything like that. So I finished Entwined, and I have to say that it is a reading that is so I'm definitely gonna read this again. It is a really nice, whimsical, wintry, well, it's wintry at the beginning and at the end, and through the middle we do get some chunks of summer and spring, and the marriages. Okay. Of course, since this is set in a world where, you know, marriages were a thing, so we're gonna see this as kind of historical fiction, historical fantasy. Betrothals are a thing, since the girls are very young, so when they're of age, 15 is the age when they're of age to be courted. Azalea, Bramble, and Clover all got their love stories respectively. They are the oldest girls. You know, Clover was 15, but you know, that was just like a very small detail in the book that if I were looking at it very critically, I would totally criticize. But I mean, it was a very fun read. It was super fun. It did have me at the edge of my seat. Like, I wanted to finish it so soon. I read chunks of it. I read this by chunks, and the last chunk I read was 100 pages, I think, and like that was the last. But I read this in chunks because it was so gripping and so interesting and so amazing, and I don't know, I love Entwined. Definitely gonna buy the other Heather Dixon novels that she's written. She's written another YA, and then she's just recently, I think, written an adult book. So yeah, I'm amazed by this. Then, well, oh god, I started reading The Chronicles of Narnia again. So The Magician's Nephew is the book that I've already read once, and I read a little piece, a couple pages of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe beforehand, but that was before I got into the biggest reading slump of my life, which is where I just completely stopped reading for a few years due to like depression, anxiety, school, stuff like that. And I recently just I think right when I finished Entwined, I looked through my bookshelves yesterday. I looked through my bookshelves and saw that, you know, I haven't heard from Narnia in a while, and I just finished a very whimsical royalty kind of story, so I would love to get sucked into the world of Narnia. I know that The Magician's Nephew is a prequel, however, it is the first book of the collection, so I just decided to read it, you know, chronologically speaking, on the Narnia timeline. And I'm enjoying it so much so far. I don't want to say I'm almost done, hang on. No, I am like 2/3 of, no, I'm like, yeah, I'm around 2/3 of the way through The Magician's Nephew, and I don't know, I feel like it's a nice novel. It's a nice little book, and I love that it's just like adventure and escapism, and like maybe I would have enjoyed it a little more if I had skipped The Magician's Nephew altogether until I finished the series, or maybe just looked up like in what order were these books published. But I didn't because I'm just lazy and I decided to just do this instead. Also, since tonight for my babysitting gig, I couldn't just drag the Chronicles of Narnia with me or get my anthology of Charles Dickens works to finish, Great Expectations. I decided to start something from the pile that came in with, you know, with the other books in the book haul. That was probably the last clip that you saw, and that is Ichiro. So okay, this is the only graphic novel I ordered. It's blowing my mind so far. It's so good. I have always been really interested in Asian cultures. So one of the cultures that I'm most interested in is obviously the Chinese culture and of course the Japanese culture, because they're both very, very rich in, you know, their cosmovision and just their myths in general. They're so rich in history. So I am so grateful that I found this. This is a kid's book. This is a children's graphic novel, and I had not realized that I am reading a lot of kids' books lately. So don't stop me. Honestly, I'm having such a fun time. I'm on a stride right now, and currently I'm just enjoying myself head to toe because oh my god, this thing. Okay, I'm already halfway through. I breezed through it because besides it being a graphic novel, it's just so light and funny. Like, I'm trying to really drink up every single drawing because it's just, the author's last name is Inzana. His name is Ryan Inzana. I love how he is able to just tell you through the color and through the style of the brush strokes, because his drawing style is brush strokes. When the grandfather is recounting some of the cosmovision myths to him, it's just he is able to imitate some of the classic Japanese paintings, in which, you know, it's just like the very fine lines of the face and the very vivid colors. And I love how through color he's able to express different kinds of settings, different kinds of images, different kinds of feelings, and even different kinds of languages. For example, the white background in the text bubble is supposed to be English, and the green background in the text bubble is supposed to be Japanese. I have literally just gotten to the part where, you know, the plot sets off, like the action plot sets off and the adventure part of it. So I left on a very annoying cliffhanger, but you'll see in my next vlog how that goes. Oh, and Great Expectations, of course, is still there, so we'll see if we finish it this month. I'm so excited because I think I'm actually going to have a wrap up this month, because I am going to definitely finish 5 or 6 books this month. Like, that's a definite. I'm going to finish 6 books this month. So if I do manage to finish Great Expectations, or if I manage to finish, I don't know, another graphic novel, or maybe a YA or a biography, or maybe something else from Oscar Wilde, I will be so happy to do a wrap up, because I never have enough books that I have read and that I could talk about for a wrap up. So this is gonna be really exciting. Anyway, thank you for watching the vlog. I hope you liked it. Subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and like it, comment. I don't know, just do that kind of thing. Yeah, I know that most of this vlog has just been me talking, but I don't know, it's just, it is what it is. I am so sorry. Thank you so much for watching.